The final episode of Oshino Ko Season 3 was honestly incredible. It delivered everything fans were hoping for: intense emotions, major reveals, and long-awaited confrontations. The highlight, of course, was Aqua and Ruby finally facing the truth about each other. That moment wasn't just shocking, it was deeply emotional, and for many viewers, it hit harder than expected. At the same time, the episode also took a step back and explored Miyako's past, giving us a much deeper understanding of her struggles and how brutal the entertainment industry really is. That added layer of realism made the entire episode feel even more grounded and meaningful. But despite how amazing the episode was, the ending left a lot of people confused. It raised several big questions. Who is that mysterious white-haired girl? Why does there seem to be a romantic angle between Aqua and Ruby? What exactly is Aqua planning moving forward? And finally, Aqua offered an acting role to the white-haired girl, so will she actually accept it? If you've been wondering about any of these, don't worry. In this video, I'll break everything down step by step and explain the ending in the simplest and most detailed way possible. So, let's begin. Now let's talk about one of the most confusing and honestly controversial parts of the episode: the romantic tension between Aqua and Ruby. Because yeah, your first reaction is probably the same as everyone else's. Wait, aren't they siblings? And you're absolutely right to question it. In fact, when this part originally appeared in the manga, readers had the exact same reaction. It caught a lot of people off guard and made many uncomfortable. So what's the explanation behind it? The story tries to justify this through their past lives. Before being reborn, Aqua was Gorou Amamiya, and Ruby was Sarina. Back then, Sarina deeply admired him, and it wasn't just admiration, it leaned more toward a crush. He was someone very important to her during a lonely and painful time in her life. Now, after reincarnation, both of them eventually regain memories of their past lives, and once Ruby learns the truth that Aqua's actually Gorou, her perspective completely shifts. She stops seeing him as just her brother. Instead, in her mind, she starts seeing the person she once loved. That's why she becomes emotionally and even romantically attached to him. It's not really about their current identity as siblings, it's about her clinging to the connection from her previous life. But even with that explanation, it still feels weird, and there's no point pretending otherwise. A lot of fans, including manga readers, have criticized this aspect of the story. It's one of those narrative choices that divides the audience heavily. So if you're feeling uncomfortable or confused about it, you're definitely not alone. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but does this get better later? And unfortunately, it actually becomes even worse as the story progresses.
Now let's get to the biggest question of all. What exactly is Aqua's plan? I'll keep this as clear as possible without giving away any major spoilers. At its core, Aqua's plan is all about revenge, but not just a simple emotional kind of revenge. It's calculated, layered, and honestly, pretty terrifying when you think about it. Everything revolves around the movie, The 15-Year Lie. This film isn't just a normal biographical project about hoshino. It's actually a carefully designed weapon. Aqua's true goal is to use this movie to publicly expose Hikaru Kamiki, but not just expose him, he wants to completely destroy him. Here's how. Through the film, Aqua plans to reveal the hidden truth behind Ai's life and death, including the manipulations, the lies, and the real person responsible for everything that happened. By bringing all of this into the public eye, he wants to show the world that Hikaru is not who he pretends to be, that he's a liar, a manipulator. If this succeeds, Hikaru experiences what Aqua sees as a social death. Meaning, his status is destroyed, his influence disappears, his image is completely shattered in front of the entire world. And for Aqua, that's only the first step, because this movie also serves another purpose. It's bait. Aqua knows that exposing these truths will provoke Hikaru. It will push him out of hiding, mess with him psychologically, and force him to respond. In other words, Aqua's setting a trap. He's creating a situation where Hikaru has no choice but to confront him directly. And that's when Aqua plans to finish everything. Now, there is one final step in his plan, something that completely concludes his revenge, but that goes into major spoiler territory, so I'll leave that part out for now.
Alright, now let's move on to something even more confusing. The mysterious white-haired girl. Who is she? How does she know so much about Aqua and Ruby?
Is she some kind of spirit? This is where the story takes a very unexpected turn into supernatural territory, so let me break it down from the very beginning in the simplest way possible. Well, to properly understand her, we need to start from the very beginning. First of all, she is not a normal human. She's actually a supernatural entity. The story never gives her a real human name. The only name she uses is Tsukuyomi, which comes from Japanese mythology and refers to the god of the moon. So right away, the story is telling us this character exists on a completely different level compared to everyone else. Now, even though she appears in a physical form, that body is basically just a vessel. She uses it to interact with humans, especially during the movie arc. But the manga never explains where this body actually came from. It's left intentionally mysterious. What she does say, however, is very important. She describes herself as a being who has been watching humans for a very long time, almost like she's observing a stage play, and that's key to understanding her character. Because unlike Aqua and Ruby, she is not a reincarnated human. She didn't die and come back. Instead, she's more like a higher power that exists outside the normal cycle of life and death. And more importantly, she has some level of control over that cycle. Which brings us to her most important role in the story. She is basically the architect behind Aqua and Ruby's reincarnation. In the story, she explains that Ai gave birth to children who were originally soulless. At the same time, Gorou and Sarina were souls that had nowhere to go after they died. So she arranged for those souls to be placed into those bodies. In other words, Aqua and Ruby exist the way they do because of her. But the most important thing to understand about her is this. Her character's background is intentionally left vague. The story doesn't fully explain who she is, where she came from, or the exact limits of her powers. Instead, it keeps things mysterious on purpose, allowing viewers to interpret her role in different ways. So when you put it all together, she's not just a random mysterious character. She's meant to be an unknown presence in the story, someone whose true nature isn't fully revealed, adding to the overall mystery of the series. And now let's talk about the final cliffhanger of the episode. Aqua offering an acting role to the mysterious white-haired girl. This moment felt really unexpected, right? Because up until now, she's been presented as this strange, almost supernatural figure, someone who exists outside the normal world of the story. Naturally, the big question is, will she actually accept it? And the answer is yes, she does. She ends up taking the role and actually appears in the film. But here's where it gets even more interesting. She plays the role of young Ruby, a mysterious entity who already has deep knowledge about Ruby's past and existence is now acting as her younger version on screen. It's both fascinating and unsettling at the same time. It raises even more questions about her true intentions and what role she's really playing in the story, because someone like her doesn't just do things randomly. So while it might feel odd seeing such a mysterious character step into something as normal as acting, that's just how the story unfolds. It is what it is. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the ending of Oshi no Ko Season 3. Now the good news is, Oshi no Ko has officially been confirmed for Season 4, and it's going to be the final season of the series. But here's the thing. The part of the story that Season 4 will cover is actually the most criticized and controversial section of the entire series. A lot of fans have very mixed opinions about it, so naturally, expectations are a bit uncertain. Because of that, I personally wouldn't go in with extremely high expectations. That said, if Season 3 proved anything, it's that the anime adaptation can elevate the source material in really impressive ways. This season was honestly amazing, from the emotional moments to the storytelling and character development. And just to recap, Season 3 mainly covered the mainstay arc and the scandal arc, both of which I've already explained in detail in separate videos. So if you want a deeper breakdown of those arcs, definitely go check them out. And yeah, with the final season on the horizon, everything is now building toward the ultimate conclusion of Aqua's story. Let's see how it all ends.